Who is this actually good for? Who should skip it? And is it worth the price for normal, everyday buyers? If you've ever paddled out on a calm lake, tried to chase a school of bass, and ended up fighting the current with a single arm, you know the dilemma. You want the freedom of a kayak but the control of a motor, and you're not sure if spending a couple $100s on a bow mount unit will actually make a difference. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. The first thing I did when researching the Minn Kota Kayak Terrova was to see how it fits into the typical kayak fishing workflow. Most anglers I talk to start their day by loading up gear, launching, then spending the next few hours either drifting or slowly trolling to find fish. A motor that can be stowed away while you paddle and then popped out with a click is a real time saver, but only if the deployment is truly hassle-free. The Terrova's Easy Stow/Deploy claims to let you push a button and have the motor lock into place, then press another button to park it automatically. In practice, that means you can transition from paddling to motor-assisted cruising in under 10 seconds, a noticeable advantage when you finally spot a promising bait pattern and need to get there before the fish scatter. The GPS navigation is the headline feature that sets this unit apart from a plain electric trolling motor. Spot lock technology lets you mark a location on the water, then the motor will steer you back to that exact spot without you having to stare at a chart or constantly adjust the throttle. For a kayak fisherman who likes to set a line, drift, then return to a known sweet spot, that can translate to more time with a line in the water and less time guessing where you are. It also means you can set a home base near your dock and have the motor bring you back even if fog rolls in or you lose sight of landmarks. Who should buy the Terrova? If you're a serious kayak angler who spends more than a few hours on the water each week, especially on larger lakes or slow-moving rivers where you need to cover ground, this motor makes sense. It shines for those who already own a kayak that can accommodate a bow mount and who are comfortable handling a 55-pound thrust unit. The thrust is enough to push a loaded kayak against a moderate current and still give you the ability to cruise at a relaxed 34 miles per hour, which is ideal for trolling soft plastic baits or dragging a drift sock. The one-boat network compatibility also means you can sync the motor with a Minn Kota control console if you already have one, consolidating everything onto a single screen. Who should skip it? If you mainly paddle on small ponds, or you only go out for short, casual trips, the added cost and weight may not be justified. The motor adds roughly 12 pounds to your kayak's bow, and while the Easy Stow system is designed to keep it low profile, you'll still notice a shift in balance, especially if you're used to a pure paddling feel. Also, if your kayak doesn't have a reinforced bow or a built-in mounting bracket, you'll need to invest in a custom adapter, which adds both expense and installation time. For beginners who are still mastering basic casting and fish finding, a simple paddle-only setup will keep the learning curve flatter. The practical strengths are pretty clear once you see the unit in action. The digital maximizer technology adjusts the motor's output to give you smooth acceleration, which feels more natural than the jerky surge you get from cheaper models. When I tested it on a 12-foot sight-and-top kayak, the motor responded instantly to throttle changes and held a steady speed even when the wind picked up. The GPS interface is intuitive. You just press Mark to set a waypoint, and a quick tap of Return brings you back. I found that on a windy day, the spot lock helped me stay within a 10-foot radius of my baited area, something that would be near impossible to achieve by hand paddling alone. On the flip side, there are a few hidden trade-offs. The battery life, while adequate for a typical half-day outing, drops faster if you run the motor at full thrust for extended periods. The unit ships with a 12V, 20Ah battery, which under a moderate 2 miles per hour cruise can last around 4 hours. But if you push it to 4 miles per hour to chase a school, you'll be looking at 2 hours or less. That's not a flaw in the motor itself, just a reality of electric propulsion you need to plan for. Another practical weakness is the reliance on the onboard GPS signal. In heavily forested shorelines or areas with tall structures, the lock can become spotty, forcing you to fall back on manual navigation. The motor's control console is functional but lacks the backlit screen that some newer models offer, so using it after sunset can be a bit fiddly unless you bring a headlamp. Installation is where the Easy Stow/Deploy claim really matters. The mounting hardware is pre-drilled,